dark thoughts like the scattered dreams of I'm human too. There I stood, a child raised wrapped in God and angels of light. I overheard my mum say very bad things that many people suffered from. I wasn't very old, but had a golden soul full of love and the will to understand what it meant to be man. I asked her, why are people bad? She looked at me and said, don't be sad, there are monsters in this world who hurt others just because. My response became my creed to fulfill the need of love's protection. If people are monsters, then I'll become a monster to the monsters to protect everyone on this planet. Now I'm older, and I bear the weight on my shoulders, great burdens laden in pain. I see monsters in man and reflect and understand it's not on the outside but what's within. There are many types of monsters in this world. Some bat their eyes, others despise. Some kill for gain, and some just do it to live in vain. Though all of the attacks, like a chunk of beef with the soul beat cold until numb, was all I knew. No feeling as well, blooded literally and metaphorically straight into hell. The levels of which all have their name, but none such a friend as that beautiful hell called pain. The spice of life that forces us to thrive, scrambling for life. Oh, the sweet temptation to do it again, just to show life it's weak. And my ecstasy peaks until the blood does roll. That beautiful pain in which many find sorrow. The monsters are everywhere, all in different levels, some hidden, some bevel. Ice battled their lies, I fought through the cries. I've trained my mind, body and soul to take the beating and beat myself more just to settle the scores in life's little game where monsters remain and frolic in the day. My entire life, the monsters around me, rolling fires towards me freely, they did provide what strengthened me inside. Over the years, the game picking up pace as if in a war, in a great race to see who can win life. The bitch I've overcome, or me and my itch to twitch and flip off life for being the weaker one. Monsters come in many forms. They can be family, your neighbours, or a lover scorned. They can say I love you and halfway believe it inside. Meanwhile, the monsters in their heads do reside. Instead of running and getting comfort through refrain, I beat myself harder just to embrace the pain. For what is the feeling of the other side if everything you cry, the hurt becomes more, and through anger you settle the score in this weak-ass bitch life of you can't grow through the strife? Pain becomes a flavour to savour now. Just another item on the menu to be served when I eat with a side of fuck myself up harder. Always pressing farther, putting all feelings aside so in justified success you can provide. The largest monsters can sleep in your bed or run countries. Little do I fear their sting, unless for the dead. To me they're monsters who just need to be bled. I live with them daily, and in maximum cells with them did I play like sharks in the ocean, each one knowing the other. That beautiful psychotic behaviour constantly endangers the thought of eating the monsters. For on them, I savour the flavour of justified ends. Oh, to be the monsters who flavour the pain and mould it, reshape it in heart, soul and brain. Turn it around and focus it on good, always misunderstood. The beast of a man who refuses extinction daily, just so I can savour it again. Building systems of success for a beautiful end. The monsters who savour flavours of hardships and gain. The ones who swallow whole the pain. The monster with a real name. A different type of monster I became. Too powerful to show you the gain, for if you knew, extinction could be only a day or two. But instead, I play music, make art, run business and speak my voice. It's a start that's lasted over a decade. As I now know the monsters in the larger show, I clear off my plate so I can dine on the monsters again. This thriving appetite of delight, now I'll go silent and feast some more. As in the end, I'll settle the score and work to the core to show I'm more than what tries to break me again and again. My closest friends and enemies, the monsters inside them who try to hide within, all beaten with reprieve of relief by cryptic design. The monsters in me who slays with the signs, using defeat by mental reprieve, leading with belief and moving the minds of monsters through time until they go crazily blind or witness the divine. To those monsters you know, bring them to the show for all of them to see. For in the end, I'll remove the monsters within so those beautiful bastard humans that are weak to the monsters now can thrive and have nowhere to hide. Sweeping away the monsters that play with the hope of change and blessings to come, all of which is daily being done. Pain and sorrows redefined refine our souls in time, removing the blinding gaze of monsters made. I'll shine so fucking bright that by seeing me they'll be saved. But only through the creator of life for all of this he gave, and humans in error swayed, warring and conquering belief-dominated lands. Adaptation over time defined the body, tongue and mind. Hundreds of thousands of years, through all of the fears and deaths, did ancestors press just to get the mess we see today. And that's a monster to slay. Once dyed and minced and fully rinsed, table it with self-medicated pain, made a dish I grow from. All the dishes that provide the nutrition to help me grow in mind, body and soul, until I'll stand so tall that every monster will see me and hear the call. I'm coming for the monsters in you. Be wary when I do, as you'll rarely see it coming, and next thing you know, the monsters will be gone. And there they'll be replaced by humans who sow for themselves and others. The temples complete, the monsters running in defeat. Those happy helpings I can't get enough. And when all the monsters are gone, I'll train mine for good. I have been all along while being misunderstood. For the monster in me is a puppet of sort that I've trained and strengthened over the years, and taught a new way, for when it's attacked, it goes to fight back with an ice-cold evil that could swallow hell. But I put that spell of submission and place the chain around his neck and force him to be silent and give respect to covenant being fulfilled, as it is God's will, not my own. For if I were alone, I couldn't have built the man you see before you today. This here man who hypnotizes monsters into a trance and makes them prance like good little sheep, and if they make a peep, I lock away the key. That's how I arose and enslaved the monsters in me. Now I ride them all as I stand tall. Through the flames of hell I'll consume them all. A game I did play as within me heaven's light did shine. Molded it into a furnace over time and hid it with the weakened cry of a helpless child hiding in the dark. And when they came into the furnace inside, they went only to be spent like a cloud of dust out of my mouth and to heaven's gates where God scatters them all. Thus was the call of mine internally divine, as the monsters will always prey on the weak. So in the dark as a helpless child, I did speak, crying out as if scared, just another dish for a heavenly taste when all of the monsters get grinded away and become no more than seasoning for another dish and another day. All in my life's cupboard I have locked away. At any time, your will could be done, and the choice you can make to harness that monster and use him for goodness sake. If you see a monster coming out of me, there's a reason I'm wearing that beast, too often justified, for the reprieve from the monster's attacks, so I can tame them or dine on their flesh. I wear them like a tie with my best dress, so in the temples of man their monsters do witness and regress, so the temples can chain them within, use them as a second skin in times of need, or burn them in the light of heaven, the temple now controlling the blessing. Once you learn how to ensnare them, bind them by their necks to be used for good, or send them above as beams of dust so the light scatters their decimated remains. Your temples will you regain as you now hold the key from a mastered choice, using your internal voice built by will. Using the light of heaven as a guide to send the monsters into the temple's furnace inside, grinding them away, with the light and might of God you send them away. They get in through pain, they have a blood-stained rage. Your temple a cot where they sit in your mind and plot, making you a puppet, your temple paying the ultimate cost. Be wary which ones you let in, for sometimes they'll make themselves at home. Remember, you hold the key to the temple and furnace inside. You can tame them and make them work for you. The monsters many battle in the temple of you. The Holy Spirit, if accepted within, will work its magic and can strengthen the walls and guide you through its many halls you'll find through time. The maze of the halls getting more complex over time. Let the Spirit lead you when you're blind to the sign. God hasn't gone anywhere. He's on his throne above, awaiting your acceptance so he can show you true love. For if he did it all, what kind of life would that be? He'd be used only as a crutch that would leave people weak. You have strength in you, usually far more than you know. Let God sow, and through him you'll grow. Nice. It's time for me to rest. For in the morning, there are monsters I must eat, and the delightful dish of pain, my favorite feast. Maybe tomorrow I'll sprinkle some spice using self-depravity on ice, topped off with the lemons life gives. Or maybe I'll drink the juice from the lemons down after I blend them with my crown that God gave me, life engraved on its side, always a bit tilted as I ride. Polished to shine, minus a few bits of dirt obtained by hard work. That beautiful golden crown, ready to savor more flavors as we go another round. So if the monsters and pain you savor too, then here's a life's lemonade toast to you and the life you live. Now I'll drink it down with the verbosity of my thirsty inner child, always free, always wild.